head teachers that you found wanting just recently. So look, you see, I said for the Gambia home, this is our own country, this is our property.
Exactly.
We are all bona fide citizens of this country, and the SIG is, yes, the ministry has a moral duty to implement it, but this is about the Gambia. What we are saying, I think, simply saying, yes, let's walk around it, could be a very simple way of going about it. We are not disagreeing with the principle. I have said that repeatedly. Okay. It is perfect. In fact, let me take Bundung School as an example, where I serve as the school management committee chair. We have over 4,300 students in Bundung, and we are expecting nothing less than $100,000 this term. You understand? Which we couldn't have got for the past 5 years. So it has come to even provide an immediate support for schools to ensure that effective teaching and learning, or proper or better learner outcome, you know, is ensured. So the SIG is there to solve the problems. But the point we drew the line is what we are worried about. And if the implementing agents, I said last week, are seen as not being reasonable, are seen as being responsible for the problem, let's look at the study. The study has been here since time immemorial. We all condone it. We are all responsible. So why must we criminalize teachers for the act? So let's take responsibility and confront the challenges. This is what we are talking about. And apart from that, we are in line with every other principle as far as the SIG is concerned.
Mrs. Yame, are you in line with Mr. So's opinion?
The sensitization is still ongoing, because on the task force, you have the chairperson of Al-Bash, which is the Association of Heads of Lower Basic Schools, and the Al-Bash, they've got coordinators in all the regions in the Gambia. The same thing with the Conference of Upper Basics, Conference of Upper Basics, the Heads of Upper Basics. They also have got coordinators in all divisions in the Gambia, and their function, their duty is to go back and hold workshops and sensitize other heads who were not fortunate enough to be members of the task team. The task team has also come on the TV. They have gone in the regional radio stations, and I'm sure now this school improvement grants is a household name. Every person in the Gambia, every mother, every child knows about the school improvement grants, and every person knows that, especially in the lower basic school, they are not supposed to pay anything. So the question of criminalizing teachers, look, I'm a teacher, yes, and I know where Esasov is coming from. He's an activist, he's a teacher unionist, and he's quite right. He should really feel, if his teachers are threatened, he should feel that way. And I think he's going in the right track, really.
Yes, stop, sir.
Yes, like I was saying, I think on our end it just remains. You know, we welcome the idea, because looking into it, you know, is getting more of students, you know, to school, more of people into the school. They try to discourage the form of exclusion in the LBS. But like we've said, our issue still remains, because there are clarities that are still needed. Honestly, there are clarities needed, because when we went to up-country, Region 3 and Region 4, when we approach certain communities, certain parents, they are appreciative of the move. But again, there is something that they add to it. Like in Mandinka, because that was a Mandinka community we went to, Iko saying, study Manyantakake. Because this is just the information, this is how some people are understanding it, that the government is saying no studies, full stop. And I think this is not the message. The message is that the school must not coordinate the conduct of the studies. The students must not use the money, take the money and pay to the head teacher or any teacher in the school. I think this is the message. But however, there are some controversy in the issue of the study in certain communities, and I think there is better clarity that is needed on that, because we can all attest to the fact that studies are very relevant. They are fundamental issues that are needed to cover up to the instructional hours that the children needs together with the teacher. So it's very useful. However, the message needs to be clarified. We understand it at our end, but however, there are equally parents who thought that the government is saying no studies, and I think this is not the message. The message is that the parents should coordinate it themselves, charge themselves, and then pay to the teachers that are responsible, and not actually the students themselves removing money and paying it to the teachers. So these are the messages that the Conference of Principals during their SMC meetings, the ALBAS during their SMC meeting needs to reiterate to the parents, so that it will be better clarified into their point of understanding.
Mr. Luimegi, I just wanted to
Okay, Miss, to add on to that, yes, studies are very important, but we are only looking at one aspect of it. We are not talking about the EBE days, the Mufti days, the Gamo days, where children used to be charged. And if they don't pay those $10, then they are excluded from school. What we are saying is there should be no exclusion. The EBE days, the Mufti days, the Gamo payment should always all be things of the past. Because now the government is paying $100 per child, those things should not take place in any school anymore.
Okay,
I just wanted to say that the school improvement grant is public money, and the teachers should be accountable, because if you look at the financial instructions, it says that public funds should be accountable. So if a teacher or a head teacher is seen to be wanting, definitely I think the law should take its course. And I think the ministry wants to maintain that. I know Mr. Sow is an activist and he wants to protect his people, but then this is the stand. The school improvement grant are public funds, and public funds should be accountable according to the financial instructions. That's the last point.
Mr. Stowe, are you just defending the staff?
I don't want us to belabor upon this issue.
Okay,
I said as a union, user charges.
Okay, it's okay.
I mean, any charges, unnecessary charges for that matter, that would deter or stop the child from getting his or her basic education, we will definitely frown against that. In fact, if you know much about union work, we definitely advocate for free education and compulsory education for that matter. So the issue of government money being accountable is in our policies, it's in our instruments, that is right, but this is not a matter of somebody embezzling funds. We have not got to that point yet because the funds have just been, I think we are missing some of the issues. What we are trying to say here is that can't we establish a task force to preview and review this issue and adequately advise government for proper implementation of the scheme vis-a-vis the UBS and SSS. That's the message. Because we know there are a lot of impending consequences and implications for whatever decisions we take. That's all we are saying. So we are not against anything. I am a member of the National Task Force representing the teaching fraternity, and we participate in a lot of policy development processes, programs, and implementation activities. I'm just from Basa yesterday on a MOPSI mission to follow up CCM recommended actions for and on behalf of the sector. So we are not dissociating ourselves from all the decisions. In fact, this SID issue, when it was raised at CCM, we were there. We're taking responsibility. We are part of it. But education is dynamic. You understand? It's a living thing. So as we grow with it, we must review it and then come up with issues so that we can better implement what we have. Otherwise, we are okay with everything. So let us not miss the point. Thank you.
I'm not missing the point, Mr. Mendy, and I don't want to. As I said, the task force is here, and actually I think they should be taking note of these things. I am an ex-officio member of the task force, and that's why I am here. So they should be taking note of these things so that they can advise the ministry on further implementation in the future.
Yeah. As something new, we expect to have teaching problems. And it's a learning process for all of us. And I'm sure as time goes on, it will be improved upon. So we expect to have problems, and problems are meant to be solved. As the problems arise, we will solve them. And then in a few years' time, I'm sure everybody will be comfortable with it.
What's it what you want to say?
All right. Finally, I will just want to advise our members, the students, because since these dimensions are all taking place to benefit their education, I think it is equally our responsibility to be serious with our academic work. Let us leave everything behind and concentrate on our education, because we have seen the efforts government is putting in place to ensure that we achieve quality and relevant education. So in doing so, we also have a stake by making sure we're responsible enough to do better, in our educational endeavors. And as well, the parents. I think it is equally very necessary for a participatory monitoring to be conducted by the parents. You cannot just send the child to school and leave the child like that. It is useful for the parents to monitor the level of achievements and the level of, or the status in which the child is performing at the level of the school. So this is equally very useful, and I think when all stakeholders, when all partners are together in ensuring that we achieve our desired results in the education sector, together we are hopeful that we can really make it.
Okay, Mr. Gomez, so final